Well, this is a program. It's a public health awareness program on the road to end tuberculosis. Leave no one behind. Unite to end tuberculosis. A public health awareness program by the Lions Club of Madras Excellence of District 324A5 Lions Clubs International. This being sponsored by Padma Clinic and Nursing Home. As per the WHO TB statistics, it shows that in India we have an incidence of TB cases of 2.7 million. HIV with TB is 87,000. The multi-drug resistant tuberculosis is almost 1.4 lakhs. And the mortality is yet another 4.2 lakhs. And we do find that globally you find the incidence of tuberculosis on the rise. There are about almost 9 million new cases and 2 million deaths occurring. Therefore, each one of us, not only in the medical profession, but also in the non-government organization and people from all walks of life, we have to create, as leaders, we should come forth to create awareness in the public on the various aspects of tuberculosis. In that way, we have 9 important lessons on tuberculosis which everyone should know about it. The 9 important lessons, I will go one by one, which every public should know about it. The lesson number 1, tuberculosis is an airborne disease. When a tuberculous patient, when he coughs, the mycobacteria gets distributed in the air in the form of droplet nuclei. At one cough, you find around 3,000 droplets can occur. And if you sneeze, you find around 10,000 droplets can occur, which can go up to around nearly 10 feet. These droplets can remain in the air for even up to a period of 6 months and float around and can be inhaled by the other people. Sometimes it can remain on the dust, especially in the dark, but if exposed to sunlight, the bacteria will not survive. It has been observed that face masks, ordinary face masks, if worn by a tuberculous patient, can bring down the mycobacterial load or spreading up to around 50% or 60%. The ideal mask is the N95 or the N99 mask, which has got to be worn. So lesson number 1, tuberculosis is an airborne disease. Lesson number 2, tuberculosis is a characteristic latency. The moment a tuberculous bacilli gets in, it can remain dormant in the body, and that can remain for a long period. As long as the immune system of the individual is strong, the individual doesn't get infected. The moment the immune system gets, the strength weakens, as in cases of diabetes or in immunocompromised individuals, then you find the tuberculosis flares up. This is the characteristic latency, or you call it as the latent tuberculous infection. Lesson number 3, tuberculosis is curable and preventable. Early diagnosis, a person with persistent cough, fever, late evening rise of temperature, night sweats, and patient losing weight. These are some of the earliest features. If it is there, then you must see your family physician or the doctor. Early diagnosis, if it is diagnosed and sputum positive, then of course we have to do we have to take up anti-tuberculosis drugs. There are very good drugs that are available now, which if taken for a period of 1.5 years, you can cure tuberculosis completely. The lesson number 4, we do have multi-drug resistant tuberculosis called the MDR tuberculosis. This happens because of irregular treatment that the patients take, or maybe the adequate dosages are not being given to the patient. There are two powerful drugs, the INH and the rifampicin. If the Mycobacterium tuberculosis becomes resistant to it, you call it as the multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. In addition to it, if you had two other drugs like the fluoroquinolones and others, then you call it as extensive drug resistant tuberculosis. You find the incidence of multi-drug resistant tuberculosis is fairly high. It's almost around, in India, we do have, as things stand today, almost around 1.4 lakhs. The 5th lesson is tuberculosis affects the lungs first. You find the aerosols inhaled by the person, or any person rather, it goes into the trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and then it starts multiplying. So tuberculosis affects the lungs first. The 6th lesson, doctors may not always be right when it comes to the diagnosis, because sometimes, even though we do have gene expert and other advanced diagnostic modalities, in spite of it, sometimes we may not pick up the tubercle bacillus, and then doctors will be baffled. In case there is a doubt, you can always get a second opinion. The 7th lesson is, if you have tuberculosis, you must eat a healthy, nutritious food. Normal person, you find a healthy, nutritious diet will boost your immune system and strengthen the immune system. And that can happen with a balanced, at the same time, a high protein diet. In the non-vegetarians, you can have egg, fish, mutton, chicken. And vegetarians, there are plant-based proteins that are available, soya beans, tofu, and you can also take groundnuts, handful, morning and evening, which is in fact a high protein diet. And in addition, plenty of milk, 2 or rather 3 glasses of milk a day. A very good nutritious food will boost our immune system and will be able to fight against the tuberculosis bacillus. The 8th lesson is, most people are still insensitive. One should avoid stigmatization. A person with tuberculosis occurs, please don't look down upon him. What he requires is a love and a care, and that itself will strengthen the immune system, and thereby he can overcome the disease. The 9th lesson is, leave no one behind. Unite to end tuberculosis. This again is a very important lesson. It is like sharing the information all about tuberculosis to the public. For sharing is caring, and therefore we will not leave anyone behind. And we require leaders to come forth from various non-governmental organizations, as well as student community, as well as representing various sections of the community. They should come forth and propagate to the public about all aspects of tuberculosis, most importantly these 9 lessons, so that everybody will come to know what are the symptoms of tuberculosis. It can be diagnosed early and it can be cured, and one can also prevent it. This is very, very important. Leave no one behind. Unite to end tuberculosis. The 9 lessons are: lesson number 1, tuberculosis is an airborne disease. Lesson number 2, tuberculosis has a characteristic latency. Lesson number 3, tuberculosis is curable and preventable. Lesson number 4, multi-drug resistant tuberculosis can occur and can be prevented. Lesson number 5, tuberculosis affects the lung at first. Lesson number 6, doctors may not always be right. In case of doubt, have a second opinion. Lesson number 7. If you have tuberculosis, you must eat a healthy, nutritious food. Lesson number 8. Most people are still insensitive. Avoid stigmatization so one can avoid stress for patients with tuberculosis. And lesson number 9. Leave no one behind. Unite to end tuberculosis. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a wrong method to cough in an open area like this. During a cough, in a tuberculosis patient, the mycobacteria gets expelled into the air. These particles are called the droplet nuclei. They are 1 to 5 microns in diameter. They'll be suspended in the air for several hours. One cough, you will have 3,000 droplet nuclei. Talking for 5 minutes can have another 3,000 droplet nuclei. If singing, can also give out 3,000 droplet nuclei. And when you sneeze, 10,000 droplet nuclei can go even up to 10 feet away. One has got to hold on to a handkerchief or a tissue paper and cover the mouth when one coughs. This is the right method of coughing. When you cough, cover your mouth with a handkerchief or with your hand or with your elbow. And after that, if you are covering your mouth with your hand, wash your hands after sneezing, coughing, or holding your hands near your mouth. Cover your mouth with a tissue paper when you cough, sneeze. That's very important. Well, my dear friends, let us, with clarity, let us spread the awareness of tuberculosis. That tuberculosis, if diagnosed early, can be treated and can be cured completely. Leave no one behind. Let's unite to end tuberculosis.